The b-boying scene is really special. I think it's a scene, and the people really like to. They want to really treat it respected, because they have a lot of love for what they are doing, and they invest a lot of energy. Plus, I would say mostly the kids or the target group doing b-boying or are involved in the hip hop movement come from social minorities, like it was hip hop culture. Was born in the South Bronx and Brooklyn and Harlem, so poor neighborhoods of New York City in the United States, and it was brought up by the immigrants living in the United States, like Puerto Ricans and African people. And that if you transfer this, for example, to Germany, you have a lot of Turkish people, Albanian people being involved in hip hop. So they always fight for their rights, because normally in society, in school, the kids have no success, so they invest everything they have into, for example, practicing dancing, practicing b-boying, and that of course leads to the fact that they on one side they can be really, let's say, hard to handle. Plus, they are really proud of what they did, so you really have to treat them very respectful. So this leads to the fact that you every year have discussions with b-boys, maybe sometimes only because you can't give them a backstage pass or you can't put them on the guest list. Or what is also special about b-boy competitions, we are not talking about a football event or match where in the end you have a referee and you have 2-0, so it's very clear who's the winner, who's the loser. At the Battle of the Year or any other b-boy competition, we have rules, we have a judging system, but still it's really hard to get for the dancer and sometimes also for the audience why one group was judged better than the other group. So this normally is also a very high potential topic to create tension and pressure and discussions and stress, of course. And sometimes this stress gets so much that individual dancers from one group who are a little bit more aggressive than the others even try to knock you out or argue so much with you that they touch you or yell at you. So everything, even like I have seen even Battle of the Year events where people came up with knives and wanted to stab some of the judges and stuff like this. So this is the worst form of having stress and problems at events like Battle of the Year. And some people even call us Disneyland of b-boying, because we integrate not only the hardcore b-boy community, we also integrate like families, which was always important for me, old people or older people, because I always wanted to show them what we do, because I think it's more than just a culture for the underground and for youth centers staying behind like walls and borders. I mean, the educational part was always a strong part of the hip-hop culture from the first day. So the original meaning of hip-hop culture is to give kids who have nothing than guns, drugs, fights, a creative alternative to use their creativity and skills for something else. So this actually was the birth of hip-hop. So in the 70s, there were a lot of violent youth gangs in the streets of New York. They were fighting each other, and the idea of b-boying was to have a battle, a fight of two persons or two groups, but without using knives or guns and without touching your opponent. So that's the original idea, to win against somebody else with a better dance move. That's the idea of a battle. That's why we call the Battle of the Year. And by giving kids an opportunity to do something else, and giving them a perspective to do something with their skills and to learn something, and maybe 10 years later work as a choreographer or work as a professional dancer or work as a professional graffiti painter who's nowadays working in a graphic agency or whatever, designing websites. So this always was and still is a strong part of hip-hop culture, and that's also the reason why the social workers always like to work with this hip-hop culture elements. Because hip-hop culture and b-boying, I mean, it doesn't matter from which country you come, which religion, you need nothing, you need no machines, you just can dance with each other and it's working, They need no teachers, they need no social workers, because they work with each other. So they teach each other, the older generation is teaching the younger generation, and this is why a lot of social workers like it. And this aspect also was, of course, really important from the first year on for us, for Battle of the Year, to not only do the big main event, but beside the Battle of the Year main event, we always did workshops where the good dancers teach the young dancers. We have panel discussions where people have open discussions to discuss things. So this was and still is very important for me by organizing Battle of the Year. For us in Europe, our legends come from the United States, come from New York, from the mid-70s when b-boying was born. So my first legends were of course the New York City Breakers and the Rocksteady crew, because those groups have been the first dancers I've ever seen on TV, like maybe in 82 or 83. So to me, people like Crazy Legs, Frosty Freeze, Prince Ken Swift, Powerful Packstar, those are names who are legends for my generation. Nowadays, of course, we have 20 years of Battle of the Year now. So if you talk about legends being around like Battle of the Year history, you could talk about people like Maurizio, a guy from Italy who always had a really different, unique dance style. He was a member of a Battle Squad, a very legendary, famous German group. By the way, a group who only won, they won twice the Battle of the Year, so nobody else did this. And another member of Battle Squad is a very famous dancer and probably a legend, is called Storm. He's from Germany, and but most of those dancers and legends are not only legends because of Battle of the Year. I mean, we just have a forum, Battle of the Year, and they danced at Battle of the Year on the stage. Some of them won Battle of the Year, but they always have been around on other events also. So they have been not only at Battle of the Year. But Storm is a very big legend in the German or worldwide b-boy world. Other legends, I mean, sometimes people get legends when they die. So other people, like for example, there was a famous Italian dancer called Massimo Crash. His b-boy name was Crash, and he was a really nice dancer I think from Bologna. So he died and everybody was shocked, and then after a while, like still today, people are talking about him. Or like DJ James Lacey, he was a really positive DJ from close to London, from Stansted, and like he was a really positive character. And for me personally, he got a really close friend, and then all of a sudden he was dead, like hit by a car. So of course, for the DJ scene, which is really strong related to the b-boys because the DJ play the music for the dancers, James Lacey is a really big legend nowadays.